Hello everyone, I'm Carolyn from Tranquil Mentor, and welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be making this fake bake of the sweet roll from the game Skyrim. Skyrim is an action role-playing game developed by Bethesda. The sweet roll is a common pastry found throughout the game. We will be using air-dry clay from Dollar Tree to form the roll. I'm taking the Sesame Street air-dry clay. I have these three colors. I've got yellow, red, and blue. And together I'm hoping that they'll make this brownish color for the sweet roll. They're $1.25 each, and you get a couple more ounces than you do of the white air dry clay, and I thought this would be pretty easy to work with instead of having to paint, but sometimes it's okay too. Right now what I'm going to do is just take 3 of these little pieces of each of these colors and just a small sample of each one. I'm going to be making the color brown, so I didn't want to take a large amount at first. I just figured I'd take a little bit and combine it together and just see what color that I come out with. Just roll them all together and keep kneading them and keep mixing and seeing if we do end up getting the brown that we need. All right, and it looks like it's coming up that color. Looking pretty good. Yeah, I think that's gonna work, and it's much better than painting, although I don't mind painting to get some texture and all that, but I just really wanted to try some colored clay. I thought it would be fun and different. And now that I like the color and I've got the color that I wanted, I'm going to commit by taking a larger amount of the air dry clay. And little by little, we'll knead this together, and I've got that perfect color. And maybe make it a little bit warmer with the yellow. And I'm just experimenting here and just seeing if I can get it a little bit warmer. And now maybe a tiny bit cooler by putting that blue in, and it wouldn't hurt to have more of the air dry clay anyway. So I'm just going to keep kneading it and mixing that clay in, and that's a nice color brown. It does look like the sweet roll, but we'll see as we go along. If we decide to change anything, we can, certainly change the color. All right, and I've got this from Dollar Tree. It's kind of a quarter or a third of a cone just cut, and the roll looks like a volcano basically. So I'm just going to cover this up, and we're going to have the top and the bottom is going to be covered so that it looks very real. I think if I left the bottom open, it wouldn't really dry very well and it may crack. So since we have this volcano shape, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to push in here and make this kind of ridge all the way through at the bottom, because it does change shape and go up into a volcano. And this is our inspiration piece here, and it's very volcano looking. So I'm going to make the hole in there now just to get an idea of how big to make it and what it's going to look like. And then these little pieces here along the side, these little crevices and bumps and everything, I'm just going to leave those in there because it will look like it's been baked and molded and everything. To get the hole through, I've got this solar light from Dollar Tree, and it comes in handy, but I got to really press because that styrofoam's pretty heavy. And then I'm just going to twist that until it goes all the way through. And then we're just going to have to pull that out. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. I think it works for this. And then I'm just going to push those edges in a little bit, get it a little bit more flattened out on the bottom, and blend in that clay a little bit more. All right, and we're building up, pulling our edges in, and just kind of recovering from making that hole. And what we'll do here is we want to make some texture, because the roll has the texture in it, and it looks like it was baked. we're going to go through, and I'm just going to take this brush and go, toothbrush would work or anything, a wire brush if you have that. Here we are. I've got it. I did this all over, even the parts that I'm going to cover with the caulk icing, because I figure that'll give it even more texture. We've worked around, went through our texture here. You can see it's just texturized all over. All right, and now what I had to do was, off camera, I added another ring, almost like a donut, and plopped it on top, because as you can see, that is very high, raised high up. Now we're going to get ready for our icing. I'm using this caulk, and I'm just going to put some in a cup. And this is, sometimes the caulk gets a little bit hard to get out, so I'm just squeezing it and rolling up the end of that. All right, and then we'll get that all in. And I've got my Mod Podge, and I'm going to take a little bit of that and get that put in there with my little brush. Just a little bit here. And with this, I don't really measure. I have to go by the consistency. Sometimes it just, when you first put the caulk in, it's just so gritty and grainy. So I'm going to put a little bit more Mod Podge in there. We'll start mixing, and you have to do a lot of mixing to get it smooth. All right, and this is some paint, Black & Decker, that I get from Ollie's. It's just regular latex paint in white. And I'm getting a little bit of paint in there because I figure I want to, instead of putting more Mod Podge, I want to get a little bit more color in there. So I'm going to mix that up, and that really did give me the smoothness. And then as we look at the sweet roll again, you'll see that it does have a little khaki creamy color to it. The icing is not really just a glaze. I thought khaki was about the best color that I could find in my arsenal. And I'm just mixing that in just to get kind of like an off-white creamy texture here. All right, and you do have to mix quite a bit. And then I have a baggie that I cut the Ziploc part off of. I'm going to put that caulk into there so that I can drizzle the fake icing on top of the sweet roll. I'm going to use this glass because it's really hard to pour this in. Sometimes it just goes all over the place. So I'm just going to use this cup, and then I'm taking my little mixture here and pouring that in. And I'm just taking out as much as I can get. I'll leave a little bit in there if I need it later. And then it didn't turn my camera back on for this part. So what I'm showing you here is the baggie that I used. I cut a little hole in the baggie, and then I pushed everything out and drizzled onto the sweet roll. Then what I'll do next is I'm just going to show you that I put this on a piece of Teflon so that I can move it around and it doesn't dry to paper or anything. And then I've got a little bit of this left, and I'm just going to show you how I went around this edge here and applied more. I just got my brush really full of the caulk, and I just went around. And here we have it. This is our Skyrim sweet roll. And I just love the way it came out. I think if I did it again, I would make it a little bit more butter creamier looking, and put a little bit more color in there. But I really am happy with the way that it turned out. And then maybe next time I'll use the cone from Dollar Tree and then just cut off the top, and then that way I won't use as much clay. But I'm still very, very happy with the way that it came out. And the texture and everything is just exactly what I was looking for. I love the way that icing is just drizzled down the side. And just to capture the setting of the game, we put our sweet roll on a medieval tablescape and it fits right in. If you make a fake baked sweet roll, share the inspiration and tag us on Instagram or visit us on Facebook at Tranquil Mentor. If you are already one of our subscribers, welcome back and thanks for watching our video today. And if you're not a subscriber, welcome to our channel. And if you would be so kind to subscribe and like our video, it helps YouTube notice us a little bit more and it supports our channel and helps us to grow. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.